I have had this Halloween makeup idea in my head for a while now, and today I want to see if I can execute it pretty much. This look was kind of inspired by the Get Stoned palette. I have been raving about this palette ever since I bought it about 8 months ago now. It is a 10 pan all shimmer palette, and like these are the most beautiful shimmery shades I have ever used. I actually just hit pan on champagne the other day, and this is my most used shimmer shadow like by far this entire year. But as much as I love the more neutral shimmers in here, I'm very intimidated by like this green, this gold, and this red. So what I wanted to try to do today is incorporate this red shimmer shadow, because when I see this, I think either Christmas or we could lean it more Halloween spooky vibes and pair it with a lot of black, right? The look I've had in my head is a black smoky eye, like a very intense pigmented black, and then pop this red maybe right on the very center, or try to incorporate this red shade somehow. And then in case you guys didn't know, Get Stoned also makes rhinestones. They have loose ones, or they just came out with these cluster press-on versions this year, and they are so easy to use. I've been loving those as well. And the owner of Get Stoned, Megs, posted this TikTok where she showed different like map layouts of the stones you could do to kind of get cool effects, and she posted this one with using the gems as like little tiers. So I thought with my black smoky eye with the red, what if I use these red press-on rhinestones to kind of do that tier effect? So in my head, this sounds very fun to do, and I want to just try to do it today. I thought it'd be fun to film it, and I think this look would be fun for the people who want to do kind of a fun makeup look on Halloween, but nothing like too spooky or too gory. Like it's a black smoky eye with some red involved, you know? I did already do most of my cream-based products. I have foundation, bronzer, a cream blush on right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my under eye concealer. I'm gonna set this whole area with some powder just in case we get fallout from the black smoky eye, and then I'll prime my eyelids as well. So now I'm picking up a lot of loose powder, and I'm just gonna pack some of this kind of right on my upper cheek area to catch any black shadow fallout, because I definitely don't want that on my face. To start off this black smoky eye, I'm actually gonna start on my waterline with the black liner. This is the Makeup Forever black pencil in whatever black, and I'm just gonna be really messy with this, run that across my entire lower lash line, my waterline, and then start to bring that up to my upper lash line. And then I'm taking a pencil brush and I'm gonna smudge out that black. And I wanted to use this black liner because it's nice and smudgeable, and I'm starting with the eyeliner because it's gonna give the black and darker shadows something to kind of stick to. So while I'm smudging out the liner on my top lash line, I am smudging it upwards towards my lid. Let me get the other eye caught up. Okay, I think that's a pretty good place to start. Now, I think I want my black smoky eye to be a bit more gray tone, so I'm gonna use the new Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes palette since I have it out with me here. But if you don't want to pair this with more cool tone grays, you could totally pair it with more dark browns as well. So from this palette, I'm gonna take this gray shade on a small firm blending brush, and I'm gonna take this shadow and I'm gonna run that on top of all of the eyeliner that's on my eye. And then I am bringing this shade higher, and I'm kind of more on my eye socket right now. I'm headed towards my crease. So when I'm first laying down this shadow, I'm starting really low on my lash line where a lot of that eyeliner was, and then as there's less and less product on my brush, I'm bringing my brush upwards towards my crease. And then for the lower lash line, I'm honestly just layering a lot of the shadow on top of the liner. Alright, so I've slowly started to build up this deeper shade, and now it is higher up towards my crease, and I have a nice rounded shape going on. Now for the smoky eye, I really just want to smooth out the crease. You can see this super harsh line right there, and I want that to be blended. So I'm going to take a fluffy crease brush with a mixture of this shade and the gray shade I was using, and I'm going to take this and just start to run it back and forth in my crease for a while. Just look at the difference that some blending in the crease can make. I'm not gonna blend my lower lash line just yet because this brush is too big for that, but I'm gonna do the other eye. I am picking up a little bit more of that pinkish tone shade when I'm blending in this inner crease area. Now for the lower lash line, I'm going to take more of just that pinker shade on my small firm blending brush. I wanted to point out that this is only my second time using this palette, but I'm actually getting very minimal fallout. I definitely thought there would be more fallout, especially with that dark gray shade. And there's a difference with this lower lash line blended out and that one before. I just think it's helpful to show a side-by-side comparison of showing you what a difference that blending can make. I have this one harsh line that's bugging me right there in this inner crease, so I'm gonna switch to a smaller fluffy blending brush with a tiny bit of this shade, and I'm just gonna smooth out that line really quick. At this point, I'm pretty happy with the blend of everything. I just want all these edges to look nice and smooth before I go in and deepen up the eye look even more, because my black smoky eye is looking a little bit more like a gray smoky eye right now. So I'm gonna take a small crease brush in the black shade from the Mario palette, and I picked up that shadow on the flat side of the brush, and I'm gonna dust this shade across my eyelid, but I'm gonna try to keep it closer to my lash line, keeping it nice and low on my lid. Now I'm gonna reline my waterline with that black pencil. And then on my pencil brush, I'm taking that black shadow and I'm gonna run that across the lower lash line, but again, keeping it really close to my actual lash line. Okay, now that is a black smoky eye. Just look at that difference that that black shadow made. I definitely do have a bit of fallout with that shadow though. I promise this will turn into more of a Halloween look, but if you want to do a black smoky eye with this Mario palette, this is the way to go. Now I think I'm ready for the red shadow on the center of my lid. This is either going to make or break the smoky eye, because the smoky eye looks so good right now. But I'm gonna take a bit of my NYX glitter primer and place that on the very center of my eyelid to give the red shadow something to stick to. Okay, I got that glitter primer on, and then picking up Candy Apple on my finger. All right, here goes nothing. I'm gonna do a couple layers of this Candy Apple shade. I'm also gonna try that on my little crease brush. I feel like it's looking a bit more pinkish, almost kind of fuchsia than red when it's mixed with the black like this, but I still think it looks pretty cool, right? And this is my very first time using this red shade from this palette. I'm gonna take that fluffy crease brush I used earlier and kind of blend right here. Then I'm gonna take more of the black shadow and see if I can re-intensify that kind of on the outer corner and inner corner. Okay, I don't know if that looks exactly like what I planned in my head. Again, I do think it's pulling a little bit more on the pinky side, but I'm gonna keep going and do the other eye. Now I want to wipe away my fallout and that powder under my eyes, so I'm actually taking a little bit more powder on that brush and just going to wipe all of this away and off my face. And that picked up all of that black shadow that was sitting on my face. Now I think I want to put something pretty bright in my inner corner, so I'm going to go into that shimmer palette and take Hollow Ghost. Put that right here. I'm gonna go pop on some mascara and some bigger lashes, and then we'll do the rhinestones together. Okay, mascara and lashes are on. Like I said, I wanted a big lash today since this is just an intense eye look. So for that lash, I'm wearing the Bright Lashes Lush. And this is definitely one of the most dramatic styles that I carry. I know it's kind of tricky to see with like the super dark shadow, but there is a big lash there. Now, I really wanted to make that shadow on the center of my eyelid a little bit more red and less pink. So I went through a bunch of my palettes to try to find just like a shimmery red, and I could not find anything. I went through all of my Oden's eyeshadows and I really thought there'd be like one shimmery red, but I could not find one. But I did find this matte red shade, and I'm wondering if I just dusted a tiny bit of that on top of the shimmer, will it kind of just shift the tone a little bit? I feel like it should, right? I'm gonna do it. I'm just having fun today at playing around with makeup and trying new things, so here we go. Shadows from the Oden's Eye Snow Dream palette, by the way. So I just picked up a bit of that shadow. See how this is more like a blood red color? Let's see what happens if I just like lightly dust this on top. I think it looks slightly less pink, so I'm gonna go with that. Okay, that is the eyeshadow all done. Now let's zoom out and do these kind of teardrop rhinestones. Okay, so let me pull up Meg's image again right here. So looks like she does a little bit in the inner corner, kind of like dotted around, and then it goes down to a drip. Couple more on the lash line, down to a drip. So for this, I'm gonna use the Get Stoned Rhinestones in Candy Apple. It's actually the same shade name as the shade in the palette, which now makes me think it might be too pink again, but this is the only reddish one I have. And what's nice about these ones is that they are self-adhesive, so you have a mixture of just like individual ones. They go from small to big, and then these cool clustery shapes. And these are so easy to use, especially if you have their tweezers. I'll show you how easy these are to use. This sounds sponsored, but it's really not. I genuinely love this brand. It's a very small indie brand, and I do have a code with them on their website. It's just ANGELABRIGHT to save you guys some money. So here are all the gems. I'm gonna start with this little trio and kind of work on my outer corner and then kind of do the drips and go inwards. Really quick, this is what I mean when I say the tweezers hold the gems themselves. Like, I am not squeezing the tweezers shut. They kind of work backwards as other tweezers work, you know what I mean? To release the gems, that's when you squeeze them together, you know? So pretty. Look at like all the colors that shift when I move my eye. I'm just gonna keep going with these rhinestones now. And then taking a cluster of 3. Does that look like a little tear? Actually gonna move up this tier. Okay, what do you think? Does it look like I'm crying beautifully, slightly bloody, but also very glam tears? Okay, I went ahead and did my other eye, and that is all of the rhinestones on. How fun is this? And then I did do my lips off camera. Don't be mad at me, but I went with a super dark lip. I actually started with the red lipstick all over. I used a Sigma Ecstasy. This is one of my go-to red lipsticks. I just didn't really like the vibe of it, so I added some black liner, some black shadow on top of it because I don't own a black lipstick. There's still a little bit of red peeking through underneath the black, but I feel like this lip just fits everything so much better. Okay, so this is the final look. What do you think? I don't even know what to call this look. I feel like I went more with kind of like vampire vibes, like dark and moody, but then the rhinestone tears just add something to this look, you know? But that was just kind of the point of this video. I had this idea in my mind. I wanted to execute it. This is what I came up with, and I hope it inspires you some way to do some kind of makeup look for Halloween. Or maybe you were just inspired by the beautiful gray matte black smoky eye that I started with, because that was great. I'm gonna list and link all the products I used today down below as always, so I hope you guys enjoyed this different type of video from me, but I will see you guys in the next one.